Today we have with us Kanitha. She's a business owner. Not only that, but recently ran for city council at large. So, do you want to introduce yourself a bit? Tell us a little bit more.
Yes, thank you. Well, my name is Kanitha Matoury. I'm originally from Cambodia. I was born in Phnom Penh, the capital city. It's what brought me to Oakland, well, the United States altogether, is that my parents fought for human right. My mom fought for reproductive right. And
Oh.
yeah, together they want to make sure that people have freedom to choose over either their body or their voice
Yeah.
in terms of electing their political uh, figure, I guess,
Yeah.
to decide on behalf of the system, right? So for that, they were both in prison.
Oh.
And I was granted humanitarian protection back in the 90s when the NGO and the Amnesty was fighting really hard to install democracy in Cambodia. And they both was in prison, got out, continue. They said if they continue to stay and do their work, could their children be protected? And 4 different countries stepped up in the meeting in the NGO and said, well, we'll take you in. And my parents love America because of the freedom of choice and what America stand for. And so they're like, we're going to send you to America. So 2 UN came, escort me out of my country, dropped me off in Thailand, and I was waiting there at the embassy, and my uncle picked us up, and he lives here.
Oh, wow.
I was upset and mad
Yeah.
at the situation. I was a teenager.
Yeah.
But and now I'm in Oakland. I found Oakland is a very beautiful city, and that's how I end up here.
And now you're fighting for us.
Correct. Now I decided that I wanted to step up, and the reason why what stemmed out of this is that, as a entrepreneur, you always in this whole kind of like fight or flight mode, and you're always creative. So you're never really questioning anything. You just every day, you get up, and for me, it was like my main thing is how do I make sure all my staff is employed, the business going forward, and my family is going to be taken care of, and that's like priority, right? Community, family, my staff is my community, my family is my family, and the city itself. So we never question anything, but lately it's become really bad, right? And we got robbed multiple times, car driving. I'm starting to question the system and where is the care and where is the sense of priority and who is the sense of priority belong to, right? And then my dad passed away in July of last year, and where we can't get service then too when someone died. I waited in the police station for 4 hours. Everyone is the same situation. Or ask this person, call that person, and you're like,
it's a broken system.
Yeah.
Correct.
There's no
Exactly. So this is where I said, well, I need to get in there and address these issues and do what my parent did, which is work in the policy level to make a bigger impact. And, even though I swore I never could do politics because my mom was kidnapped when I was 17 years old and she never came home. And it's literally destroyed our family, right? But in my country, it's very aggressive. It's dictatorship, right? It's not America for the good and the bad. We still could protest and do all this. It takes forever for anything to move.
Sense of democracy here.
Correct. We still have a sense of democracy, and thank you for that. And so we want to continue making sure that work is going to translate through many generations. Through.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
This question pales in comparison, but what keeps you in Oakland?
Oh my gosh. So, as someone who's a mixed race, myself, I have a long history of I did 23andMe. I have a little everything. My grandparent was like merchant. They looked for lands and opportunities, and they were farmer. They farmed like rubber tree plantations and lemon and all the other stuff. So I was a mix of multiple different Asian country, right? Asia, Southeast Asia. My children I gave birth to here, both of them. They're all mix of a lot of different country, right? Middle East and Asian, in each of those countries, including so many more. And they are beautiful, and just like you guys. And Oakland represent to me the new world,
Yeah.
the citizen of the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sad to see all the restaurants are struggling and all the business, but I think this is what make Oakland so beautiful and diverse because of all our different types of people, different types of business, different types of everything, the landscape, the weather, and the friendly, how people are so friendly here, you know. And I move around quite a bit. I was in the Air Force. I did the service for 9 years, reservist. I've been around everywhere. I drive across America at one point.
Beautiful.
And Oakland is special, you know, and so I that's what brought me here. When in 2007, I wanted to open a restaurant, and that was my dream, which is to create a restaurant where you never have to leave, but you can sit at the table, and it's like you travel the world. It's every cuisine, and where you know you come with your partner and you said I want Mexican tonight and I want Asian, and you have that option on Spice Monkey menu.
That's beautiful.
And we change our menu every quarterly, and we keep it pretty exciting. And our chef and talents, we collaborate, and everybody brings something that they come up with, and we put it on the menu, and it was just diverse as Oakland.
Yeah, that's dope. That is beautiful.
So we'll get into Spice Monkey in a little bit, but you also own the Howden Market, so which is right here in downtown. But can you tell us the origin story of that, and also just being a small business owner in the heart of Oakland, which is downtown, and then also what other significant roles do you hold that are significant to you in your life outside of being an entrepreneur, running for city council and things like that?
Wow, that's a full loaded question.
Should have broken that down. Right?
Well, we'll start first, I guess, with the business side. Well, Howden, it started with me wanting to create a cornetopia, I call it, which is a food place where you can get every types of service. Spice Monkey, the original company, was all food, and we focus on health and diversities and global cuisine and art and entertainment. So we host comedy show, live music, poetry, a lot of fundraising for all different types of nonprofits, and so that was kind of like the Spice Monkey focus. And then when we had that for 7 years, there was an opportunity when Next Door came to open, and I knew at one point we have to kind of expand our staff base. And then my vision was like, if you are in transition, you're going to school, you never have to leave the block if you just want to work 8 hours a day, right? You can work 3 hours here and 5 hours over here. You don't have to take the bus, drive up the street, and go to a different part of town. And to keep it kind of exciting, for both, and hit all the different sector and service all together.
That's beautiful.
And that's how Howden came to fruition.
Fruition.
Yeah,
we got you.
My English is still, I'm learning new word every day.
Same here.
Same.
Really?
English is not my first language, so.
Oh, what's your first language?
I'm from India, so I speak Punjabi, Hindi, and then now obviously English. I know some Urdu as well. Also, I just realized I asked the question you were supposed to ask, so my bad.
That's okay.
Yeah. And did I answer all the questions? I think there's a little bit more.
The last part of the question is, what are some roles that you hold that are important to you outside of business ownership and in the political sphere?
Well, beside being a mother, the doctor told me I couldn't have child. I was 4 months pregnant when I had Spice Monkey, and it was such a journey for me. And the second child, I almost died along the way from difficult birth. I think that is a gift to be able to have the opportunity to be a mother, not because that, I look at my child as a person themselves, as almost like another being or a spirit that come through you, almost like a door or a gateway. And I find that very fascinating. And that opportunity was something that I hold very special, and I don't take it for granted. And I definitely want to help my 2 daughters to go through their journey, because life
Yeah.
is it's quite a journey, and it's
Yes.
very difficult
Yes.
in time and rewarding at the same time, right? If you wanted to take it as a journey of experience, right? The second thing is the community. Like for me to be what I mean by community is that space that I have hold on that corner, it have kind of grow beyond me almost.
Yeah.
It's like regardless if I come to work or not, and some of you haven't seen me for at least like 4 months, 5 months, because I was all over Oakland campaigning, right?
Exactly.
But the community's still there. Like
Yeah.
we can count on Pam to be there, Aaron
Yeah.
and Ananda's, and Dave, and these guys started with me with Spice Monkey, some of them.
Yes.
So and then the customer, the community, like yourself, and there's so many people that. And then what I mean by the customer, even the people who sell all their product there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The beer maker, the wine maker, the liquor maker, the food maker, everyone. So I have the blessing to been able to hold that space for everyone to kind of come together. If like for example, if you wanted to start making jam, you probably cannot get into Whole Food tomorrow because it's so corporate. You got to have the barcode, you got to have this, and you got to be able to like supply them pallets, and but you can come to Howden. And so my vision is like if we could have hundreds of Howden, right? Not just one. And the bureaucracy not so complicated to open business, it will translate into giving incentive for people to live truly out their passion without looking like, God, if I want to open a business, it's going to take me thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm going to be in debt forever, and never mind. I'm just going to stick to, go to my corporate job that I hate. So that's the sacred space I hold dearly. Yeah.
That's amazing.
And
yeah.
How do you feel about negative PR surrounding Oakland?
Oh, I can't stand it. For me, it's like I know that the news are drive by like, sending this fear factor.
Yeah.
There's no way like somewhere like it'll be almost unreal if we wake up and be like, the weather is beautiful, people are beautiful, everybody, I wish you a good day.
Yeah.
Then there's no that fear factor to sell. So right now Oakland is getting hit really hard as like almost like don't look at San Francisco, don't look at Seattle, don't look at Portland, right? Oh, look at Oakland, right? Look at what a chaos, right? But there's so much other city are going through similar situation as we do too. This is where
targeted almost.
Exactly. And this is where, I was hoping to be elected to drive that positivity.
Yeah.
That's why my campaign is called Love Where You Live.
Love that.
Yeah. Put the heart back into the tree and water the ground that we stand on. But, unfortunately, I didn't get elected. But still, we want to kind of spread that message. So thank you guys, for doing this interview. Yeah. And no, for sure. I feel like we are being targeted, for multiple things, and the leverage of getting property price to go down, or like people don't visit this town, or that affect us economically in a way, right? That is, I know the controversial could get really deep, but but as old as I'm getting, I'm starting to see a lot of different things in a different lens, and
So this is a nice segue too. So is that kind of why you decided to run for city council, and what was your experience like? And it seems like this is not just your first stop. Like this is a continuing journey.
Yes. I was disappointed by the result and the effort and the amounts of funding that we put into the campaign, and I donate quite a bit to the campaign personally. And the reason why is I wanted to protect the city of Oakland and make city of Oakland better. It's a birthplace of my children, and I want them to be able to afford to live here one day. For a child who, like, when someone look at them and like, where are you from? Are you Asian? Are you Middle East? Are you Mexican? Are you Black? What are you, right? The best place for them to be and to thrive is Oakland for me. The rest is going to be a challenge, right? And growing up in Asia, I was being racist toward too.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and it still happen everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's so that's why I decided I wanted to run to make the city livable, affordable, clean,
Yes,
safe.
yes.
You know, function on a just necessity of what we need as human, and it shouldn't be that complicated. If,
Yeah.
you know, we address the need, the root cause, and the problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So what was your experience like
the
running that?
well, the experience is so the political world is really hard to crack. It's almost like the door is really tightly shut once you're in there. And doing some of my campaign on my form interview, I said that, you know, the House of Representative, which is the council seat, should have someone almost like coming from the outside who truly represent and hearing what the people need.
Yeah.
And they're not being conditioned or prep,
Right.
or their ears already so full that they can't really hear anymore, right? You know, and so my experience was a tough fight. It's very programming. It's very almost like manipulate and conditioning, almost in a way. I think there was like 3 of us that kind of like never ran and coming from the outside.
Yeah.
The rest either ran multiple times, already worked in the system for many years as a commissioner, as a council assistant, or as police chief, as everyone. That's you know. So it's really a tough door to crack, and it's protected for multiple reasons. That's what I learned. But we should not stop the fight.
No, exactly.
The hope and the faith.
If the door is closed, we put our own door.
There you go. Move the
On
door.
the side, and we get in by any means necessary.
I love that. I love that. That's a good one.
Outside of Oakland being a place that's publicized in a negative light, which we spoke about, what are some other challenges that Oakland is currently facing, and what are your hopes for Oakland's future?
Well, I think that we need unity.
Yeah.
We need to bring unity. We need, and especially young voice, I think that's it's really important to come together. I know that when I was in my 20 and my 30, I was not focusing on political situation.
Sure,
I was like, I got to get my career together. I got to
Yes.
find my mate, and I don't know, have a baby or something, so I feel
Yes.
whole. Like,
Right.
or the society think I should be whole, or I think I should be whole, right? And I admire the new generation now with the information they have access to. Like my teenager know everything. She doesn't need me to teach her how to put tampon on or question. She just Google everything or chat GBT this or like YouTube this. It's
true,
almost wild.
It's the information age.
Yeah. You know, when I talk to my daughter, she's like, I don't want to have a kid. Do you see what's going on with the dolphin, the straws, and how much waste we as humans do? I'm like, you're 12. She's like, Mommy, you're going to be grandbaby cat. Like grandmother to baby cat. And I'm just like, I was like, oh my God, child, you know too much. But I don't want you to forget the journey if you change your mind, you know, because it is a journey. But yeah, unity, bringing voice together and doing this kind of thing, bringing awareness. Same with the political arena. Like all the councils should be working in unity, not silently working off on their own little agenda. I know it's important. Each council get passionate and inspired to run and how they got in there for an agenda that they wanted to achieve. But at the same time, almost like look at it, it's like as human, we need so many different things. And therefore, as the 8 voices, they have to advocate together collectively and prioritize what is essential and what is the need in order to have a sense of priority of a healthy society, which is very important, which I feel like America or in general, not just in Oakland, are becoming, since COVID, if we're always just being in silo, like we're not kind of coming together anymore, you know? So yeah, those are important, some like, you know, deeper thing that we want to work on.
What about on that same sphere of like being a small business owner in downtown and kind of seeing the impact of, you know, obviously with COVID and things like that, but even current state, like what are some things that you can share about that?
So if I have a magic wand, I would do some of what other countries are doing, which is subsidize a lot of different things and control on a lot of things, right? Free education, free healthcare, right? Shelter. Those are all like the Maslow laws of need that need to be. So I'll share with you guys an experience when I was in Spain doing COVID. My daughter have a bat mitzvah, right? When my divorce, they live in Israel because their father is Israeli. I'm over here. So in order to get there, I have to, first, America was on a red list or black list. You couldn't get in. I applied to, I think, 4 or 5 different counselor.
Yeah.
No, embassy.
Sure.
France finally let me in. I have to arrive in Paris, and then I can enter from Paris to Israel. But from America, no.
Sure.
Right? I was on my way there. I was stopped in Spain. Somehow I pick up COVID on the plane there. I was stuck in Spain. I remember that whole chaos. I don't know if you guys remember. Everyone was scattering, like frantic, try to buy the COVID test, and it went up to like crazy amounts. So people were selling it on like off markets and everything. You go to the pharmacy, you can't even get them. If you're traveling, you need it. That's similar thing happened in Spain, and I was stuck there. I can't leave Spain because I had COVID. I have to wait until my 7-day incubator, whatever. Or I was watching the news, and their government said €2.50. If we caught you selling more than €2.50, your whatever license, fine, all COVID tests, €2.50.
No price
Euro.
gouging.
No,
Beautiful.
everybody fall in line.
Sure.
They have curfew. It's so ordered.
It's organized and structured over there.
And people
But the
follow
government got in front of it, right? They're like, no, we gotta safety first, health, accessibility to all, right? And so these are kind of certain things that America need to address. Same thing like in Spain when I was there, I was talking to all the retail on the ground floor is being subsidized by the government and controlled because they want the vibrancies are happening, right? Because they need people to come and they're street feeling safe. They put block all around. If you're a vendor, you have a remote control. You can bring your car in to do delivery and stuff. If you're not, the certain thing goes up by a certain hour to promote people walking. The plaza and everything. So these are the kind of things that the government could really get ahead to protect the small business. Because what happened, the small business or business in general, help feed into the taxation system and create job and keeping street from being blight, right? So this is what we would address right now. All your retail are dying on the ground. You can see how different it is. I don't know how long you guys live in Oakland. Every single one of my friends who's in business are in trouble. And they are subject to lose their business. Howden market is in the same situation. I mean, our rising costs is in 60% or more. We cannot continue until there is a sense of urgent priority need. And I'm not just said in the level of Oakland, but all the way from Sacramento down, right? And I know that, we have this crazy year. So my hope is that something need to address, and like we need to really prioritize small business community. And it's terrible in downtown right now because of so many factors are being hit heavily.
We were just talking about that yesterday because every week it feels like someone's closing. And then even just looking out at like city center, there's like a huge missed opportunity, not just there, but almost like every corner of downtown. So,
Correct.
And I think you kind of touched on this, but what is one thing that you've changed about Oakland? And then in that same realm, what is something that you love about Oakland?
One thing I would change about Oakland is, again, like making it easier for people to do business. And that's just kind of speaking from the business aspect. Because I look at business owners or like artists who have a passion that they want to share, but they want to make a living doing it, right? And so if we could change that, I feel that our city would be so vibrant. And it would be so, because it's already lovely in terms of weather and the people that's already here. It's like a garden full of beautiful flowers and trees, and now we just need to make the vibrancy. Like we need to bring hummingbirds and butterflies and everything. And small business are like little flowers along the bedrocks of the garden.
Yeah.
So if that's healthy, big company will come because those are tree, right? They're like
they see those
planting.
flourishing, so,
Correct. So those are the ones, something that I would like to change badly. I want to save all my friends, and I want to make the city affordable to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if there is not more tax and fees, then this city is not going to be that expensive to live. Like, it's not affordable to live. And it's just like, we have this all over the world, right? I mean, my kid live in Israel. I pay child support. It's expensive to live there too. But the necessity is not expensive, like rent and different things like that. But free healthcare, free education, right? The food is not outrageous. You don't have to pay a whole paycheck to go out to eat. So all the restaurants are popping. But here, if we're going to continue like raising this fee and raising that fees, if you visit Seasick lately, they have to put a sign said, this fees go here, this fee go here. Because they don't want you to think that the $20 that you pay for your burrito, Seasick's keeping it all. Because they're like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? And but if they don't raise the price, they will be out of business.
They can't afford the overhead.
So this is what we need to thrive on. I mean, like, you know, if I was to be elected, I mean, I would advocate like there's all kinds of package that we would incentivize people to open business, do business, or, you know, live in Oakland because it's not so crazy expensive. Built in Oakland, like, I mean, like, you don't put all these different fees and everything, and then the developer like, okay, well, we'll build because we borrow from this central bank and your 401k and your Roth, but we're going to charge your children when they move in or whoever, a Jew. That's what's going on here. That's why rent is so expensive.
There's also rent tax.
Correct. Did you guys know that it's $1,000 to build in Oakland per square foot?
Wow.
Yes. Wow. Because you got to factor all the different costs in. And the construction costs, the soft costs, the handling costs, every
breathing costs.
Breathe. I know the minute you turn the shower, and even the PG&E is not. It's just, you know, private. Everything private is just like, oh my God. And the private, like, okay, well, you fee us, we fee you, fee everybody, you know. And at the end of the day, so I hope our government prioritize some of this stuff.
So then, along those lines, what is something that you love about Oakland?
The people. The people. Well, you know, you guys are like, look, you're from here, right?
I'm not. I've lived here for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, long enough. I've been coming to your store since I've moved here.
Wow.
I would go to the Spice Monkey for happy hour. I would like munch on shishitos and have a drink at the bar. I would do like the sweet chili tofu for dinner. Like,
Gosh, she was fortunate enough to try it. I've never tried it.
Wow. Where did you come from before?
Kentucky.
Oh, wow. Kentucky. One of our chefs from Kentucky. She always told me that I have to go see the Derby race.
Oh my gosh, so that's the city I'm from. I'm very excited about Kentucky. I'm from Louisville.
Yes, that's where she's from.
So
do you know her?
No, I don't know. But but regardless, like, this is a really cool event. It's probably the best time for tourists to visit because we have concerts, we have, you know, restaurants participating in things, bars participating in things, and having like lots of specials, lots of new menu innovations and revamps because they're preparing for the tourism that it brings. I think it generates about $2 billion for the city in this one weekend.
So to add to that, what other thing I love is the artist community here, which is dying and struggling to live here, and they are like, it's beside there's no restaurant for them to perform anymore. Like Spice Monkey was another loss, and like, you know, if they go to Yoshi, they're getting robbed in the way in and the way out. And the artist community, I want that to change badly because we could be like, you know, what is it, like Nashville, Chicago, the Amphitheater, which have all these artists perform for free. The city subsidize it, and all the different buckets of taxation goes into promoting the artists and entertainment, because they know that will brings it back tenfold. This is not prioritized at.
No, not
the city, and we have so much talent here. The artist community, they play everywhere else except Oakland. And it's just crazy. That's just so absurd to me. Like, we don't have Art and Soul. They canceled because of all the crazy that the city hall couldn't get it together. The art.
That was a great festival.
And the art commissioner got slashed their budget. They don't have any budget to do anything, to run anything. It's just like that is like we need to look at every department to say what brings funding to keep our city healthy,
Yeah.
what is necessary, what is not doing anything, like how do we make that? So the art, yeah, is another thing I love.
This is a perfect segue into the next question. As I said, I've been coming to Spice Monkey and Howden for about 6 years. I've seen like multiple iterations of Howden where you had like sandwiches and deli food. You
Yeah.
had the smoothie bar in there and like juice and the fresh juice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then now you have you did have like a I don't know if it was like wine by the glass or something. You
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
And then now that's like a storage area where you have more items that you've added to your inventory. But seeing all these iterations and seeing Spice Monkey, seeing like the live events you had and the innovative menu that you had at Spice Monkey, are these things that you plan to bring back, or are those spaces just being left as they are for now? Is there anything we can look forward to or anticipate at either of those locations?
Well, thank you. Well, our lease is up, and I am currently negotiating with the landlord situation. How we lost the Spice Monkeys situation. So, I share with our great landlord said we're all in the same battle fight. Let's work together versus against each other.
Yeah.
Because what happened if there is no win-win situation, even if you have win-lose, it's a lose.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you have a lose-lose, it's nobody's lose.
Yeah.
Like the combination have to work, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll work something out. I do want to expand upon that. I've been trying to find an operator that could come and partner with me in terms of like bring back the deli situation.
Yes.
Bring back, I call it human interaction space.
Yes.
Because it's so healthy that we need that. We have to figure out the model to make it work because of the expense.
Sure.
So we are tincturing with that idea. What is the next 10-year transition look like?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Howden is celebrating this 10 year. You guys should come.
When is that?
Well, we still have to plan out. I've been asked if I would run for D2 right now heavily, and I've been thinking about it, and it takes a lot of funding and energy.
Sure.
So if that's the case, then that's 120 days. I need to decide within weeks, and that's going to take lots of energy. And these kind of projects that what we want to bring back would take a lot of like bringing people together, talents, resource, and everything. So, but thank you for reminding me of the good time. Oh my God, I miss those tofu.
Yeah, it was
the
so
Webster
good.
Street tacos, and I haven't eaten very good either since my fucking clothes.
Well, so then we can jump into our rapid fire round, and my question is going to be along those lines. But where do you usually frequent? Like, what are your favorite restaurants, coffee shops, anything like that?
So there's my latest, which is I go there a lot. Is so the building was burned down. It's 4 generation of noodle, and I can't remember what it's called. But you know where the Old Town District, and there's a market in there, Swan Market. He took over the sausage place.
Oh, okay.
It's called something noodles.
Okay, I know where that used to be in the Swans, but I don't know what the new entity is called.
Yes, so now it used to be like kind of like a hot dog sausage place. Now it's a noodle place, which moved from Chinatown to that because the building that they were in, because it started with his grandfather was a noodle maker, his father and his him and his son, they're all noodle maker. It kind of remind me of like when Changdong wasn't popular 17 years ago. You can still get a table, and now you gotta wait hour. And have you guys been to Changdong?
Just right here.
Yeah,
hand rolled noodles.
Very, very popular. So he's kind of like still hidden, but I think it's good for him to move to a kind of like a popular place and not stay in that same place for 20 plus years.
Yeah, I mean, Swans Market gets so many people for lunch on Fridays. And
yes,
so on,
check that out.
And they have their farmers market on Fridays right there.
Correct. And then he also have a dim sum place that he just opened in the same building. So that's kind of been my go-to lately. What else? And there's of course, I like to find different places that's not so popular and help promote them.
Yeah.
For because I want them to stay alive.
Yeah.
So I won't name all the stuff that's already popular.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's another one called Ma. It's Hanoi style, which is not the typical Vietnamese noodle that that you used to when you go to Vietnamese place.
Yeah.
So they are on 9th Street. No. They're on 10th Street and Webster. So here too. And they do wonderful, kind of like a twist. It's a different version of Vietnamese food that you guys should try.
They have pho.
They have pho,
Beautiful.
and it's a little different. They serve on a big giant bone, and so because it's the northern style.
Okay.
What else did I find lately that's good? Yeah, so they can use more customer. They're new too. Banh mi, no, banh ming. You know which one I'm talking about. So you know Teh Hao, Teh Ho.
Teho, yes.
Oh yeah.
Do you know the one next door to it?
No, but I know Teho. I know exactly where that is. It's in the middle.
Correct. So there's a Vietnamese place too next to Teo. I
Okay.
love Teo. Teo, my friend Denise owns it. The next one over,
Trying to remember.
they're like
Do
literally
you know
next door.
Miranda?
Veranda.
That's the home goods store. It's on the same street as Teho. It's going down this way. There's like a golf store.
Oh yep.
Oh,
So it's in
yeah.
between Teho and the golf store. If I'm imagining this
Yeah,
right.
yes, it's literally
It's
next
right
door
there, yeah.
to Teo, and they are again like a different focus in a different type of Vietnamese food, very different from Teo, which is a complementary to each other. So they would serve you like big giant fish and stuff, and like a little more authentic kind of.
Yeah.
So that place, you guys should check it out. What else I find lately that is good? There's a food truck that is Lao, Chinese, Cambodian all together. It's called Kim Chu Lao. It's a food truck, and you can Google them. It's like they take Cambodian, the first 3 letters of all the country,
Oh, right,
and they put them together.
Oh,
You
that's
spell
cool,
it.
yeah.
It's like called Kim Chu Lao. And I know they have a food truck that goes around. They park them in random, and then they also have kind of like they have a permit kind of pop up outside nearby a BART station in Fruitvale.
Okay.
That's it. If you want a Chinese, Cambodian, and Lao Ocean all mixed together,
Yeah.
that's a fun one to find. God, there's so many.
How
all
about
the
a coffee shop?
coffee shop. I can't pronounce their name,
Okay.
but all these Yemeni
Oh,
coffee
yeah.
shops are taking over Starbucks locations.
Yeah.
As they should.
Yeah, right. There's one on Grand, just open, and the setting is all kind of like authentic. You got this
Yeah.
big chair. Yeah, I think that's a good one. The one that took over, the one on Broadway in the
Yeah,
old
Sauna,
town, the
right?
corner.
On like
Yeah.
9th and Broadway.
Yeah. Good, you remember.
Yeah.
There's another one in MacArthur. I think the old coffee shop used to call the Hive. I think they took
Oh,
over.
I remember the Hive, but I don't
Yeah.
know what the new.
It's another Yemeni,
Okay.
but
Check
they
it out.
serve like they have this big pot. They try to
Yep.
do a little even more traditional.
More, yeah.
Beautiful.
That's a good one too. And then you got the new location of Grand Lake Kitchen. That's also on the corner there, so you can hit both
yeah.
places.
Yep,
Kind of
yep.
fun. Yeah, there's so many different little pocket neighborhood. Phnom Penh, which is like I think still few Cambodian authentic in the Laurel district. That
Yeah.
doesn't get enough attention there.
Oh, the Laurel is so cute.
Yeah, and Joe Thai, it's
Yeah.
a new one that opened in the Laurel. I think it's
The-
modern Joe Thai.
Modern,
Yeah.
Joe's. I think it's called Joe's,
Joe's
Modern
Modern
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah,
But I think they're also going out of business. So if we get this out in time, go eat there. This might be
yeah.
the last
Oh my
chance.
God, yeah. It's crazy. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
And the thing is because of all the fees and the navigation, the bureaucracy to make because these guys are like me. We're simple artists. Well, I a conditioned, trained politician parent who beat me like go to school. So I study finance. So.
Yeah.
I have the artistic side, and I write with both hands, left brain.
Yeah.
So you have kind of, which is a blessing. I think that's
Yeah.
the reason why I was surviving 17 years as a small business, not because I was famous chef. But I was good and creative, and I'm good with numbers, and
Yeah.
I'm creative on how, like you see how I switch Howden market
Yes.
because I wanted to widen the margin,
Yeah.
and I wanted to have the few staff I have to not have them do so much work,
Yes.
right?
yes.
And then everything else, so I have to pivot in order to survive.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
that I want to take away all the other great service.
All the options, but yeah, like
Yeah.
the increasing the inventory was a great idea because it is less labor and then people have more products that they can choose from. So
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then so we take away any service that required a lot of kind of handlings and
Yeah.
labors and complicated part. We don't have to pay so much fees to certain apartment.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, as you can imagine, we pay to weight and measure, fire department, health department, alcohol, police department,
Oh,
alarm department, garbage department, which is the waste management, and insurance. Insurance, you have four
Yeah.
different insurance. You got
yeah,
so many fees
affiliated with
just
that.
to sell an apple. This
Yeah.
That's
is
crazy.
And thank you for explaining that because I think a lot of people, especially consumers, they don't realize the fees that are associated
Yeah.
with owning a business. And when I see that a chip brand that I like is going up by $2 or $3, I get frustrated. I do understand that there's overhead, but I never have taken into account what exact fees
Yeah.
are impacting the business.
correct. And with corporate, like for example, like Whole Food or like say Bevmo or Rainbow Grocery, not Rainbow Grocery, they're co-op actually. No, what's the other one's probably
But shout out
oh
to
grocery,
Rainbow.
yeah, love. They are a model I want to do, which is a co-op. But I contact all these co-op platform that they want. You have to produce a certain amounts of dollar, which 5 million is the number where they help you to co-op. And until then, you don't have enough so you're still in small, so you can't co-op, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of like been like, how do we get there? And that's
Yeah.
been always been my motto,
I don't
which
think
is
we don't have a co-op to my understanding. Berkeley Bowl is the closest one. Is that correct?
no Mandela.
Oh, okay, so Mandela's a co-op. So
Mandela is a co-op. Arismendi is a
Alameda
co-op.
Natural.
Yeah, so those guys are co-op. Yeah, I've been in communication with all of them and try to figure it out how to at one point turn Spice Monkey and Howden Market to a co-op
Co-op, yeah.
situation, which is still my mission. And I think it would be good to hold something like this where there's more transparency and like where all the money go, right? All the member
Yes.
will know. All the member can like have a saying in that.
At
Yeah.
El Cerrito Natural and Alameda Natural, they have that hot food option as well as the grocery store experience. So
Yeah.
that would be actually really cool. If that was right behind where I live, like right in my backyard. I just nosy over in for the community right now.
Well, I tried to convince Atlas to have this, either a newer version or a second location of Howden Market. It was an ongoing conversation for 7 years, actually. So where I court them to said, okay, well, imagine if your resident would have something called the valet grocery,
Oh.
where they're cooking and they have a friend over, they can call and say, hey, I'm short eggs and milk,
Yeah.
room 2086,
Yeah.
bring it up here. You don't charge the ground
No
floor
delivery
rent,
fees,
Yeah.
right? You give it up
That's
as a swimming pool, as an elevator, as a
so
tree,
just be another amenity for the
amenity.
tenants.
And then the resident have this wonderful benefit, and everybody's part owner, right?
Stores.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And then I said, if we could give like between 2 to 4 apartment for the people who work there full time, like a manager and stuff, so everyone vested,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? And first they thought my idea was crazy, but then during COVID they contact me. They're like, oh, that sounds actually, we need that, right?
Yes.
And then the conversation going, and it went nowhere because it's just so many partners. It's a corporate, right? And then the last, they said, oh, Oakland's so crazy. We might sell the whole thing. We don't know. But, there's a couple member of that's in the company are very interested. And I'm hoping to continue this kind of seeded idea that the future, because, retail, the margin's very slim. There's a lot of moving part. Yeah.
That's another thing in downtown. There's all these high-rise buildings, but on the ground floor, there's no like retail. I've been here 2 years, and that space has been empty. And I think just down the street, Lydian is now finally getting like a barbecue place in there. Obviously, they're much smaller in scale. But yeah, and of course, I'm sure for the larger, like the investors, it's like a write-off for them.
Correct.
But at some point, it's gonna come to the point where they're gonna have to fill that space.
Yeah. So that's what I also hold a commercial real estate license. So I understand the aspect and how all the different things how do they have to defer all their costs and their expense, or where there's potential to make the funding to return for the investor, because this is not owned by one person.
Right.
They're owned by, your Roth and your money in the bank, which re-lended. Because if the money sit by itself, it doesn't do anything. So then all these bank is in the business of rent money. Have you guys understand? Like it just literally they have to rent it to the right people, or else, and they make the fee in between, right? So this is a kind of like little thing that you can really look at in all different. I hope all this business can stay in business, and that's the reason why I ran, because I wanted to help and bring this, because all the political people never been doing business. They always been lawyers or been in the system, you know, a political science major, which is all important.
Yeah.
But we need different types of, like, especially like someone who can see things differently and bring it up, and being able to say, well, we can't continue to raise fees and costs. How do we become creative as a city itself to generate fund? So then, you know, we don't have to raise parking fees and all these fees, right? How about free parking?
Yes.
For the first hour or two, you know?
I think that's a good point that you made, is because you've been impacted directly by like the policies and stuff like that, and being a small business owner in downtown. Because like obviously no shade to anyone that ran in this election, but some of the, you know, titles I was reading, I think there was somebody who was a homemaker, or basically somebody that I read the title and I'm like, how is this person gonna sit at the city council and, you know, operate something at the larger scale? It's not, if you can't relate, you haven't been directly impacted, I just don't see it how it would, like you could be, you know, of influence in that.
I feel like I have some perspective here. If they're a homemaker, I don't know what their education credentials are and what their previous career experience is, but a homemaker would understand how that's impacting their home life, their mortgage, their rent, how it's impacting their children's education. So I think from that perspective, they would have a lot of purview into things that are impacting people in the city.
I think every single voice is important. You know, I think the last time we have a business person on the council was Frank Ogawa, and he owns a nursery. So I think that you know, every voice is like every background, it's all important. And the main thing I think they need to do is be able to listen to the sense of urgency and the need. Because I've been questioned the same thing. They're like, oh, how are you own a grocery store and a restaurant going to be able to be a council? I said, well, retail equal detail if you switch the R and the D. I mean, like, you know, everybody is need different thing. And the restaurant is the same thing. We provide service, and the service is prioritized. And running a restaurant with multiple different types of service, it gave me the ability to be able to build collision between different types of skill set, personality, age different, to come together and work together cohesively to perform one service. And that's what Oakland need, right? So, you know, those are the kind of thing that I am hoping to bring forward at the conversation. As we.
I guess without further ado, this might be a good time to ask how you would describe Oakland in just 3 words. I know you have a great passion for Oakland, so I'm really excited to hear you.
Oh, well, 3 word, huh? Well, colorful. Well, and that's one. Open. It's the second one I would think. Resilient.
We've had similar, similar themes along with our other guests, kind of saying the same thing.
Wow.
Vibrant, you know, such and such. So
I think Oakland's are very colorful, but it's open to you know, all different type, and it's very resilient. You know, it have a long history of just kind of rising and falling, and it's just like, you know, and I think that when I came 2007 to open Spice Monkey to now where it is, it's like it went forward, backward, forward, backward. This time is very fearful for me because as I'm older now, I can see things a little more deeper than just the surface. I'm hoping that it doesn't become like Detroit and some of the troubled city that it took forever, decade to recover back and bring.
So blighted and like desolate, and then like now Detroit's pretty vibrant. It has like nice coffee shops, nice restaurants, a lot of influx of transplants, but not in the past 10 years.
Correct. It takes that long, and it takes a long time for it to come back, because once the the vibrancy, the people leave and they're like, oh, too expensive, they're moving, it's really hard to attract them back,
Yeah.
right? And you know, from someone who like, you know, moved from different city, like you're from Kentucky, you're from, you know, India, I myself, it takes a lot of resource and effort and energy to move, right?
Yeah.
And like, you know, into great gaining, you build your community, build your bearing and everything. So it's going to take why people come to Oakland. It's going to take a lot of that. Like now we still have some. I said, well, hold on, we fight and we bring back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you for doing the show and spreading the love and the message,
Well,
right?
thank you.
Thank
We appreciate you coming on today, and yeah, we really appreciate your voice and your perspective.
Yeah. And where can we find you if we need to follow along your journey?
Oh, Howden Market or KanithaForOakland.com, you know, and I'm hoping to keep Howden many, many more years to come. And so thank you for your support, and let's continue staying together. And,
Yes.